I'm Eric Kelly from kellyplanet.com. This is a closer look at Star Trek Lower Decks Season 2, Episode 6, The Spy Humongous. Before we even get into the story, and maybe I should have noticed this earlier, but we know the Pakleds borrow technology from more advanced species, and their ships are using straight-up Romulan to Deradix class warp nacelles. There's a story, and I'm pretty sure it's from TOS. I meant TNG. It might be Voyager, I can't remember, where they used one of those nacelles from an off-the-shelf model as a scanner prop. Now that I look, their ships have the wing gun design that the Klingon birds of prey use. Anyway.
Engage.
We open up with the Cerritos at Pakled Planet to negotiate a diplomatic ceasefire, which is something the Enterprise or other capital ship should be doing. Okay. They mention this in the show with the reasoning that Captain Freeman has experience with Pakleds from the Kala system battle at the end of Season 1. But the Enterprise had the Samaritan snare.
Welcome, Captain Janeway.
He calls her Captain Janeway.
Guys, the prisoner Rumdar, he ran away from Pakled Planet to her ship.
You might recognize that voice.
Ransom, is there a Pakled on my ship?
That's an affirmative, Captain.
This is one of the few opening sequences that has something to do with the rest of the episode.
Until she gives Rumdar back, Janeway stays here.
The Lower Decks crew is assigned anomaly consolidation duty, which ends up being just cleaning up after the senior staff. Everyone is bummed except Tendi.
Oh, sweet, sweet Tendi, no. ACD is the most degrading day of the year.
Tendi is amused by Boimler's physical comedy, which is a thing later. Boimler befriends the Red Shirt Club, which is a bunch of junior officers that help each other rank up. We have Jen, the Andorian, the Zinti guy, his name is Taylor, and Ensigns Castro and Casey. They offer to help Boimler improve his image in return for his connections with Riker.
You tell us Riker stuff today, I'll get you in the running for the big chair.
Let's do this.
Excelsior.
There's Excelsior again. I know this is an artistic reference, but there is that ship. Ransom and Kayshawn begin to suspect that Rumdar has ulterior motives for being on the Cerritos.
You want to see our top-secret defensive schematics? Yeah, and your Crimson Force Field, too!
The Crimson Force Field thing was a tactical gambit by Riker and LaForge into the Samaritan Snare from TNG.
Captain Freeman, our Pakled refugee appears to be more of a Pakled spy.
Ransom and Kayshawn take Rumdar on a decidedly not high-security tour of the ship.
We're not exactly dealing with a Tal Shiar here.
The Tal Shiar is the Romulan version of Section 31, originally from The Next Generation. The episode where Troy is a Tal Shiar spy. Oh my god, I feel like she said those words like 100 times during an episode, just to hammer home it's a new thing.
Her Majesty, the Queen!
The Rumdar is in the bathroom, but he said that you should negotiate a ceasefire.
Oh, I don't have a big enough helmet to do that.
Are you shitting me?
Freeman tries to negotiate with the Queen Pakled, but just like the first guy, she doesn't have a big enough helmet. Which totally reminds me of Spaceballs, now that I think of it.
Boimler, you need to look like a leader if you want people to treat you like one.
First, you've got to fix this posture. You're like this, when you need to be like this.
That's kind of funny, because that species was bent over like that in the animated series. So the Red Shirts give Boimler a makeover with a padded uniform and a new hairdo, which seems like a reference to Anson Mount's hair as Captain Pike in Strange New Worlds.
It'll mess you up!
Damn it, the nanobots! Phillips can calculate warp variance, but he can't remember to tighten a lid on a jar.
This happened to Wesley Crusher in the TNG episode Nanite. Hey look, that's the bridge of the Enterprise D. Mariner, Tendi, and Rutherford are still cleaning up after the senior staff. They could have done so much with this as far as references go, and they certainly have in the past. But yeah, not so much this episode for some reason. Well, except there's no Eye of Thundera on there, but that's definitely Lion-O's sword from Thundercats. Or maybe not. I think my 80s brain is failing me. I looked it up, and before it becomes the Sword of Omens, the crossguard is actually not extended, and the blade's not actually broken, although that's what sticks in my head, so there's got to be a sword somewhere that looks like that. I just can't remember what it is, and it's not the one from Dark Souls. And that looks like an earpiece Uhura used in TOS. Back on Pakled Planet, Freeman and Shax are waiting to negotiate with someone higher up with a bigger helmet, and there's King Pakled, and his helmet is huge. Oh wait, there's Emperor Pakled, and his helmet is huger. Then all of a sudden, some rebel Pakleds crash the party, kill the Emperor, and claim leadership for themselves.
I am now Pakled leader! Behold, my giant helmet!
He is strong!
There's that voice again. Teddy finally realizes that trash duty sucks, and then this magical cube turns her into a giant scorpion. I have no idea where this is coming from. And she starts wreaking havoc all over the ship because she's pissed about being lower decks. During the mayhem, the red shirts try to help, but all they know how to do is posture.
Never sailed at all.
Are any of you actually gonna do something?
We're doing it! We're inspiring the crew!
We are the crew!
So Boimler steps up and gets to work. To placate the irate Scorpion Tendy, Boimler dumps food on himself, lights himself on fire, you know, things that you do with like 2-year-olds.
Computer, taffy, honey, shrimp, soda, corn, stick, chicken, nugget, crispy, lemon, rock candy, chili, granny, chocolate sundae, hot!
That reminds me of the way Cartman defeated Saddam Hussein in the South Park movie. I'd play the clip, but it's quite vulgar. Boimler's antics worked, and Tendy is back to normal. Oh, this is pretty funny. They lost Rumdar, but find him in space floating outside the ship. Turns out he went to use the bathroom, but it was an airlock instead.
How did you get outside in the first place?
I went to the bathroom. When I pressed the flush button, I got shot out of a little hatch.
Things are getting hairy on Pakled Planet, but then Rumdar returns.
Ah, Rumdar returns. Hi, everybody. We tricked you, Janeway. Rumdar was a spy. Ha 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 ha. What did you learn, spy? The Enterprise has the biggest bathrooms ever. And she is not Captain Janeway. She is Captain Freeman.
That's what I've been telling you.
The moral of the story is Tendy learned to be cool with being lower decks. Boimler learned to be cool with being lower decks. Mariner didn't do much, and neither did Rutherford.
Quick thinking in the mess today, Mr. Boimler. You showed some real leadership.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, do you want to catch a Winger Bingston show sometime?
You ever see his one-man show where he played all of Jupiter's moons?
That's yet another reference to Winger Bingston, who was voiced by Eugene Cordero, just like Rutherford. As of now, Jupiter has 95 moons, so wow.
Just got off the comms with Starfleet. Sounds like we did a great job.
The whole negotiate with the Pakleds thing wraps up, but nothing actually happens. I guess we are to assume that Freeman did all this off-screen.
Oh, no way. This is a submanifold casting stone.
A what?
We can use it to broadcast our voices to other planets.
Okay, the communicator stone things are similar to, I think, the last season of Stargate SG-1. Daniel Jackson and Vala used them, but in their case, they actually switched bodies with those on the other end.
What's that good for?
Yeah, like, what are we gonna do? Prank call Armus?
Lower Decks loves referencing Armus from Skin of Evil, and this is kind of funny, so I'll just let it play out.
Hey, Armus! You look like a big bag of crap.
Who said that? Show yourself. I am Armus.
Yeah, we already know you're Armus, dummy.
Come and find us.
I am a Skin of Evil.
More like a puddle of...
Yeah, that's it. If I had to pick on this episode, well, this is in the running for the least amount of references in an episode, and they had so many opportunities. I love what Lower Decks has done with the Pakleds, but the whole negotiation thing went nowhere. Tendy turned into a scorpion, and I have no idea why. Maybe that's a huge thing I missed. I don't know. It was silly. And I love Armus, but it feels like that was tacked on the end for runtime. The familiar voice I mentioned was Brian Posehn in his first Star Trek role. I've seen him credited as the Queen Pakled also, but if that's his voice, well, good job, bro. Maybe there's some modulation going on or something. Does not sound like him. That was Star Trek Lower Deck Season 2, Episode 6, The Spy Humongous. I'm Eric Kelly from kellyplanet.com. Live long and prosper.